Ladies and gentlemen, you best believe that we're back on League Unlock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. It is the LCK's turn for a little bit of power ranking action. Spoilers, yes, APK remains at number 10, but there's a lot of shifting going on outside of them, specifically in the bottom 4, and that's because a lot of these perennial playoff teams, or you were expecting to be just on the outside looking in on that top 5, they have not looked good and looked even worse in week 4 action. And yes, we're talking about Griffin and Sandbox. Both of them, we know Sword's an issue in the top lane.
I think it's beyond an issue at this point.
The issue, but I don't know if you take him out, sub him with, I don't know, literally any challenger top laner, is Griffin all of a sudden going to be a lot better? It's hard to say. They'll definitely be better.
My thought here has to be that, yes, of course, even in the top side matchup here, I feel like replacing Sword with almost anyone at this point is going to net you a better result. But also, I feel like Sword has been such a suck for resources and things going badly in the top side here for Griffin that it is affecting the way that Tarzan has been able to play in the jungle, because we have not seen the same Tarzan that we have seen in previous years. And then as well, even helping, things like UCal in the mid lane, the type of pressure that's going on here, things like that, all are stemming from the issues going down in the top side and how much of an issue that Sword is for Griffin. They gotta be better than 2-6.
Another issue, again, with Sword is the top lane's pretty stacked in the LCK. You're talking Cuvée important for Hanwha Life, and he's been playing better. Summit, Nuggery, even Kana now on T1. Everybody is bodying that top side for Griffin. The big climb, though, on this side of the board. 3 spots, KT Rolster. Are we starting to believe in them? 2
Nope.
series
Don't get excited.
wins.
Stop getting excited. Everyone here, stop it right now. You're going to cause a major disruption.
Now, you can't get too excited because they have still dropped the game, the lone game to APK Prince. But
Good, I'm not excited.
They did look a lot better. Aiming and Kuro were the main culprits, as we knew would need to be the case for this squad, but Bono was inting a little bit less, and Tucson is the best volleyball player on the planet.
Yes, just almost 1v2 here on the volley.
It's a support, though, right?
Oh my lord!
With all that CS, I love seeing
200
that
years,
pick.
by the way.
I loved seeing that pick in that bot side. But yeah, Aiming and Curl were great, and KT wins against Hanwha and Sandbox, 2 teams that are below them, but they did it in relatively convincing fashion.
And especially with Hanwha and Sandbox, these aren't teams that you're expecting to be towards the bottom tier, where we had KT and APK towards the beginning of the split here. Certainly big time improvements here from the squad, and again, big props here to Bono. We've been really harsh on him, and I think a lot of other people have been too, and for good reason with the performances that we saw earlier on in the split. A very strong week from him with the rest of the KT squad.
And it depends what you're getting excited about for KT as a standard, because right now you're excited that, hey, they might avoid relegations. They're not going to playoffs. I think what's happened with them beating Hanwha and Sandbox and Griffin slumping has really just separated who the playoff teams are going to be early on. I mean, you still have half of the split to play out, and oh yes, by the way, after the first round robin, the LCK is going to be delayed because of all the coronavirus health concerns that are going around, but they're playing through until Friday at least, which is the first round robin, and because they've already played so many weeks, I don't think there's as big a rush. I mean, the LPL's already missed so much time, and even if there is this break, there's time for the LCK to get back, but clearly there is a top 5. I'd be shocked if these weren't your 5 playoff teams.
These got to be the top 5 playoff teams, and I mean, even Damwon being a little bit wonky at times here, maybe even Afrika by that extension.
They both have been, but they have the potential.
Right, and they certainly have the potential, and they've shown us enough results here, actually, and put the results on the board. Importantly here in this first round robin here, to have those positions, have that standing here as we move to the second half of it. And yes, the full expectation should be improvement consistently here for this Damwon team. Yes, we still talk about the inconsistencies. The consistency and improvement will be coming from becoming this team that you can rely upon here, having better performances all across the board here from Nuggery, maybe a little bit less of this attitude of I'm untouchable in the top lane should be good.
And can we get a petition to give Showmaker Player of the Game in this loss to Afrika, because the 2 squads did go head-to-head. One of the best individual Azir performances in a loss, maybe of all time, that we've seen when they don't even win the game. But this was a very exciting series, had some incredibly high mechanical plays from players, because we know the talent is on both of these rosters, and then some overall gameplay mistakes by both squads. But they're clearly a tier below the top 3 that we have seen, but a tier above the bottom 5, and look like they should be the big favorites to finish in those final 2 playoff spots. But it's another week of the top 3 being the same in the LCK, and combined 6-1. Only 1 game was dropped among the top 3 squads in a dominant week 4.
They just keep proving themselves here at the very top, that these are the squads that you can rely upon already here in the LCK to deliver you quality performances, to take things all the way through here. This is the squads that you want at the very top here. These are the big names, the big dogs, and they have absolutely answered right out of the gates.
And I think this was kind of all the major regions, the most expected top half of the standings. These were kind of the consensus top 3 or 4 that everyone had coming into the split. It's still T1 that remain at the very top. They were absolutely incredible this week. We've talked about Kana and how he had a great performance, didn't die at all across a 4-0 run for them. Yes, it wasn't the top tier competition. They got wins against Sandbox and Griffin, but pretty much all 4 games, they were fully in control.
And I think this is a time to be really scared of T1 if you're the rest of the world, and even the rest of these LCK teams, because the way that things are going here, the way that Kana is continually impressing and continuing to improve in the top side here, where do you attack this T1 roster that you have Kana in the top side here, Cuz helping out top and Faker in the mid, and then of course you got Teddy and Effort down in the bottom side, with Teddy being incredibly consistent and Effort improving his performance week after week here. This is a scary T1 lineup.
Yeah, Teddy basically is incapable of losing lane or having any kind of deficit, and even if he has a small one, it gets turned around incredibly quickly in the mid game. His CS numbers are disgusting, his positioning is almost always perfect, and really, to be honest, you haven't seen Faker play fantastic in a lot of these games. Last week he did look really solid. He had some great Azir play, but he's still not peak level Faker that we're seeing. And T1 looked this dominant when he finally has more pop-off performances. Then yeah, I'd be terrified to match up against this squad.
Hey man, they are in full-on business mode right now, running through the rest of the LCK. This is a team on a mission, and they continue to improve. They are the ones to beat right now in the LCK.
The LCK is just a waiting room for the Dragon X, Genji, and T1 rematches later on in the split. But that is all the time today for League on Lock. Eric and Mark here with you guys. Thanks for watching.